Today is Wednesday, December 9th. You're going to go to Canvas. You're going to select Biology. You're going to go to Current Lessons. You're going to go down and notice that there is a Help Session link. That's Tuesday through Friday from 10:30 to 11. Here's a picture of the final exam. You can click on it and see that information of the details. These are the assignments that were given last week that it's still open for you to complete. Right now, if you haven't turned those in, those are zeros and only will change if you turn in the assignment by the due date. This week I did not give any assignment for credit. It was only practice opportunities or bonus opportunities. Here is the key to the study guide. I'm going to go down a little bit because I have already taught these things. Since this is later in the week, I'm recording this. We're going to talk about biogeochemical cycles. We don't have a lot of slides to cover, but this is the most complex material we've covered this semester. So make sure that you know this in order to answer the questions. Energy in a biogeochemical cycle is never lost. You lose the heat to the environment, but the elements that are inside the cycle are never lost, they're recycled. And that is the law of conservation that says nothing in the universe can be created or destroyed, only rearranged. So be sure that you know that whatever's on this planet from the day it was here will always be on this planet. It just may look differently or be used differently. This is the definition. I also have a pretty good definition here too that's simpler. Biogeochemical cycles tend to be conserved and is never gained or lost, which means you don't lose anything. If you look here, it's talking about the elements that are used in these cycles from living to non-living things return to the biosphere. Biogeochemical cycles are important in living organisms. We know that because we use these cycles as well. We talked about the water cycle, the carbon cycle, the nitrogen cycle, the phosphorus cycle. We didn't talk about the sulfur cycle, so you don't need to worry about that. Here's a video to help you with remembering these details. Okay, so remember, you're going to need to know these cycles or be able to define biogeochemical cycles on the test. Here's one other little fact. Carbon enters the atmosphere as carbon dioxide for respiration and combustion. Remember, respiration is going to be any cell of a living organism. It's not just, and we're not talking about us breathing, we're talking about our cells respiring. And combustion. Carbon dioxide is absorbed by producers. We know who producers are. Producers are the bottom of the food chain to make glucose and photosynthesis. Remember, glucose is what they turn into ATP that allows them to have energy. Animals feed on the plants, passing the carbon compounds along the food chain. So as we eat, whatever is in the plant at the time it's eaten, that's passed on up the food chain all the way, just like the energy is. Here's some more key points to know. Plants take in carbon dioxide from the air and turn it into sugar using energy from the sun and water. We know that. We've talked about photosynthesis. Here's the other part. Trees, when you burn trees or shrubs or plants of any kind, they end up releasing whatever carbon dioxide's inside them at the time back into the air. Why would all living things on Earth die without plants? The bottom of the food chain is the plants. If we can't even start the chain, then everything would die. So we have to have plants to consume to pass on that energy and to pass on those different elements that are in those cycles we're talking about. How can we reduce the carbon in the atmosphere to reduce carbon emissions? Well, we're trying our best at this time to create electric cars to reduce the emissions from different types of industrial plants, reducing your carbon footprint, recycling. There's all kinds of options. This is a long list of opportunities that people have to make the carbon footprint less than we have in the past. Nitrogen cycle video. This will help you review the nitrogen cycle. One of the most important things to remember about the nitrogen cycle is the organism, the bacteria that helps the cycle release the nitrogen back into the air for us to be able to use it. Remember, it's not usable until it's been used by that bacteria converted for us to use. Understand the process of biogeochemical cycles, nitrogen, water, carbon, phosphorus. Those are the ones we already talked about. And then I have one slide for cell structure function, which we'll move on to the rest tomorrow. But this is simple. Know the cell theory. 3 parts of the cell theory. All organisms are composed of cells. Cells are alive and basic unit of life in the organism. So cells are the basic unit of life. All cells come from cells. You need to know those 3 parts. Here is the activities we did. If you wanted to participate, we did either you worked with me or independently on this quizzes. And these 2 quizzes, one was to practice biogeochemical cycles, the other was to practice cell theory. We did a Quizlet. This is a bonus that was put in the list up at the top for possible activities to complete for the week. Here's the study guide, and again, the answers to the study guide are at the top of the page. That is all we had for Wednesday. If you have any additional questions, concerns, be sure to reach out. Otherwise, have a great day.